time is no longer near. It is in fact here. The host is seated with Voxcaster prepped. The guests are ready with data slates and codexes in hand. Recorded on an undisclosed planet just outside the heart of the Imperium. Lock and load your bolters and sharpen your choppas. Stratagem is about to begin.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're prepared to exercise your minds with this week's episode of Stratagem. I'm your host, Andrew Freeman, and I've got some strategy experts with me breaking down your favorite 40k and Age of Sigmar armies so you can go out and destroy and conquer friends or foes. On a legal note, none of the things said in this show represent Games Workshop or any of its affiliated companies. This show is in no way affiliated or owned by Games Workshop. This show is created by 8 guys in a small broom closet that enjoy nerding out to OP formations that make so much cheese on the board, it makes grown men cry. We're here about to break down and talk about some diamonds, as you call them.
All the diamonds. Harlequins. Those murder clowns.
The beautiful murder clowns that like to beat tanks to death, as you say. Verbatim. Alright, Josh, starting us off with just the basics. How do we get into this wonderful world of clowns?
Harlequins as an army have very few choices to make. And once you make those very few choices, you have all of the choices that you have to make. There's only one troops unit, and that's the troop. Troop spelled like troop, not troop. But within that troop's choice, you can equip each model individually with a full array of close combat weapons and pistols.
How do you usually equip your troop?
I'm always going to be putting them in a vehicle. They have a Starweaver that's their transport that can tote them around the board, gives them a little more durability and a little more speed. Not that they need a lot more speed, their move's 8 inches to start with, but more mobility is always a good thing. And then shields them a little bit from fire early on, because they're only toughness 3, they're very fragile.
How many troop can fit in their Starweaver?
Starweaver can fit 6 models. A troop starts at 5, so you can even squeeze a character in there to help buff the unit.
How many Starweavers would you start in your core build?
I've got 3 painted. I'm working on 2 more, so I'd definitely go with about 5 for starters. If you're looking at a good-sized force, I think 5 is about the sweet spot.
So you got your troops and you have your Starweavers. After that, where do you go from there?
You have to think about equipping those troops with weapons. You have to focus on their primary battlefield roles. You can take fusion pistols, which is a super short-range melta weapon, but it's really high strength, good AP, and massive damage. D6 damage. If you're within 3 inches, you're rolling 2 and picking the highest, so it's bananas. Their other pistol options are longer range, but lower damage, lower strength. I think really the fusion pistol is my favorite, unless I'm going cheap, and then I stick with the shuriken pistol, just because it's good range, reasonable strength, and when you roll a 6 to hit, you get good AP as well.
Now, that's the troop, that's the transport. What warlord or leader are you taking, would you prefer to take?
There are 2 HQ options for Harlequins. The Troop Master, which is just a super pumped up troop member. 5 attacks, 5 wounds. Still only strength and toughness 3, but that's not super relevant with their weapon choices. But he's hitting on a 2 at range and in close combat. He also has a 6-inch bubble that causes a fight phase reroll for all friendly mask units. Helps boost your troops and other Harlequin models in close combat. The second HQ unit is the Shadow Seer. He's the Psyker. He's really nice because he has a 6-inch bubble that forces the opponent to be at -1 to wound any friendly mask models within that 6 inches. So he's more protect. The Troop Master is more attack. I like them both. Recently I played a tournament where I had I call it the Harlequin Bomb. It's a Troop Master, a Shadow Seer, the Solitaire and Death Jester, which we'll get to in a minute, all inside one of those Starweaver transports, running into the enemy's face, hopefully charging turn 1, and exploding a huge chunk of their army right away.
In 7th edition, you had something called Veil of Tears. Is that still a thing?
A lot of our options have been trimmed down this edition. Not that we've lost any flavor. The flavor in the index is really actually pretty strong, but we did lose a couple of the options. The relics are gone. I'm really looking forward to see what they do when they do decide to release a book with these guys in it.
With 8th edition, did anything change big, like point-wise?
The vehicles went up in points significantly, but they also kind of changed roles. It used to be that the Voidweaver, the gunship, had this really odd, like one forward-facing shuriken cannon and then one rear-facing one that could always shoot, but only in the rear arc and had to shoot something different than every other gun. It was super weird. Since 8th edition allows you to shoot in any direction, you get to concentrate your fire a little more with that vehicle. Our vehicles are always more durable with a 4+ invuln save at all times, but also a -1 to hit them with ranged attacks, so they have a significant durability to them.
What are the biggest weaknesses or holes in your defense?
Harlequins don't have defense. They don't believe in defending things per se. They're not durable. I mean, everything has at least a 4+ invuln, but all of the infantry are going to be toughness 3. They're not built to hold ground. They're built to attack. Everything in the army can leave combat, shoot, and recharge. They can advance and assault in the same turn. They are bananas mobile. It's not defense that they're about. So yeah, their weakness is defense. They're all attack all the time.
Okay, so say there's a Land Raider. How do you guys pop that?
Punch it a bunch and hope for 6s.
How do you get that close without getting shot to death?
Oh, that's not an issue. We charge turn 1.
Nice. How far does the Starweaver go?
Starweaver's 16-inch move.
Oh, wow.
The troops are 8-inch move, but you can advance and charge in the same turn. Mm-hmm. Getting there is not an issue for Harlequins. They're not in it for a grind. You have to stay mobile, but you